That's it.
Dinosaurs, meteorites on Nazis. Dinosaurs, meteorites on Nazis.
Sexual story with a twist. Any other business.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything to scare your children. That's the last thing we want to do. We don't want to scare anybody.
Any other business.
Baz has got a sexual one.
It's time for any other business, and we've got Sarah with us because Baz has pissed off on his holidays. He made sure he wasn't here for the Champions League final, which I say fair play to him for that.
Fair play to him, but I bet now he's thinking, is he missing out on all the fun?
No, Baz isn't like that.
He's not as bitter, is he?
It's not that he's not bitter. I think he just
Can't be arsed with it.
yeah.
He rises above, doesn't he?
He does and he doesn't.
He rises
Tries
above.
to pretend he does, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's as bitter as anybody, Baz.
He is.
Let's get it right.
Bitter Baz.
He's a horrible human being. He's not really. I'm only messing.
We love you, Baz.
He's not here, and do you know what? Right. I wouldn't know. Do you know? I was thinking, how am I going to do any other business without Baz? Because Baz will sit there and he'll just listen to what I say, and anyone who watches any other business will be like, yeah, Baz makes some faces when I start talking in a new business. There's only one person I can bring in who I generally feel I might pull faces when she starts talking, because when the camera's not on, honest to God, honest to God, the lesbian agenda is just ridiculous.
You don't even want to know. Or maybe you do want to know.
The lesbian agenda is, honest to God, she'd have all men strung up. Sarah would. Honestly, it's just, she just wants planet women. Honestly, she just wants women everywhere playing games on
Xbox. And exactly, what's it called now?
Twitch. To our older viewers, that's not something that happens when you start having a stroke or something. That's
well, it might be when you're watching them. Who knows?
What did I say? Fucking hell! Really wasn't expecting that. Oh my God! If it continues like this.
I'm hot in here as well.
Yeah, I'm not hot, but I'm definitely going red-faced.
This is what you should expect when you ask me on, Ped, you know what I mean?
This is why I asked you, if I'm honest. I wanted to be... Normally I'm the bad guy, I wanted you to
You wanted me to be the bad guy?
I wanted us to both be the bad guy.
I can take that. Yeah.
Bad guys
for life. Bad boys for life.
Bad boys for life. Din, 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 din. Can't do it. I'm far too white, far too ginger to be doing that.
Far too white, far too ginger.
Far too ginger to be doing that.
Oh. I don't even know where we're going with this now.
Well, I've got... let's get in. There's only one thing we can start with. Champions League. It's come, it's gone. It was amazing. It was tremendous. Anyone who's watched the footy show, we did more about the footy, but I think in this one we'll get into just the general shit out of how great it was.
I love that.
I never watched it. I went to Manchester, but I did have a emergency Real Madrid scarf. And
did it come out?
Well, yeah, it definitely came out. One of my plans would have just been far too shit-arsy, but I decided against it just for the sake of other people rather than myself. So went to the Trafford Centre, didn't watch the game, walked around, but the problem was the shop shut at 9, where I went there in 2007 when they last lost, and because it was a weeknight, I think the shop shut at 10, so I could go in the shops, I could have my mind taken off it. Although Trafford Centre is shit now.
There's not really anything there, is there? I went before Christmas, I was like, just walking round. I always end up just in the food court, sat in them little plastic boats.
I remember going when I was younger when it first opened, and it was like being in the States. It felt like, oh my God, look at all, we're in the mall,
shopping mall,
in the shopping mall. I have to get like a big cookie or something. And I remember it being amazing. Now you can walk from one end to the other in like 25 minutes. It's shit.
It is.
Liverpool one's well better. Our city's well better than them mank twats. Anyway, so yeah, walked them down, and then they also showed it last time. They didn't show it this time. I don't know whether it was because it was on like BT or something last time. It was probably on ITV, and they probably could show it. So no one was so I was on a complete blackout and I had no idea what the score was. So about 9:15, we were sitting in the food bit, but we weren't eating because I couldn't eat. I just couldn't eat anything.
The nerves. It
was just pure like that. Funny enough, last week now I'm going to really show me age. Last week I was going into. I'm never really up early, but on a Wednesday I'm always up early because I'm going on Radio City.
Yeah.
So I'll go in, but when on the way in I always put Radio 2 on.
Yeah. I like Radio 2 though.
I have no problem with Radio 2. Chris Evans was on it, and he was talking about this thing. I caught the conversation halfway through, and it was about different parts of your body having like brains. But basically what he was saying was, basically what he was saying was, he said, know that expression, a gut feeling?
Yeah.
And it was like, he was basically saying, your gut you do have gut feelings, and it's a way of your guts. He's like, gut must have like memory or something, because he was like, it was like your gut tells you by doing something because it doesn't have a voice to tell you. Like, whereas your mind has a voice. Like obviously you have your inner mind, you have your inner monologue or whatever. But he said your gut doesn't have a mouth, so it gives you a feeling. So that's where gut feeling comes from. Yeah. So at 9:15, my gut was fucking screaming at me, literally screaming at me. So I couldn't eat. My heart was 151, I think it was. I looked at my watch, 151. I was like that. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
So I decided to go for a little walk back to the car. Got to the car. It was 9:30. I couldn't take it any longer. I thought it's either finished or it's finishing now. Whatever's happening is happening. It's final. Yeah. So there was like a million messages, but I sort of didn't look at them. Got to like the Sky Sports app, seen it was 3-1, and I was just like, instantly heart rate dropped to like near comatose levels. I was just like,
and breathe.
Yeah, and breathe. But there's still 5 minutes left, so I was just like, no, we're going to sit here, we're not going to celebrate, we're not going to do anything.
Honest to God, because you just don't want to be that person, do you?
You've been there before.
Yeah.
I think El did something last week, didn't he? El Bretland, the Istanbul Protocol, he called it, and it was just like all these do's and don'ts.
I'm
like watching it. Don't celebrate. Don't, even if they're winning. Don't get into it. Don't do anything.
I was talking to Mickey Houghton the other week. He was giving me a lift back from Radio City, and he was saying, like, we were talking about the final. We were saying, like, how's you feeling about it and everything like that. And he was like, oh mate, he said, just whatever I'm doing, I'm not getting on that phone, because he said half time AC Milan. He was like, every fucker in my phone book, every fucker got a text off me giving it everything. And he said, like, after the final whistle blew, he didn't touch his phone for about 2 months.
It, though.
This is it. But
the problem is though, right, the real worry for me is, and this is why I was so convinced they would win it, and I think it was probably at the self-defense thing, where if I put myself in a state where I believe so much that they were going to win it, then when they won it, it wouldn't be as bad. But it probably would have been as bad.
Oh God, it would have been intolerable.
But what it wouldn't have been is like every bastard messaging me. I mean, I'm alright, I don't have too many red mates, and the red mates I do have are not like that anyway.
Yeah.
But if you give it out, you should expect to take it back.
100%.
So I wasn't giving it out, and that's why I was so convinced they were going to win it. I mean, I can go, well, I said you were going to win it, and I was just convinced anyway. But the worst thing is that I know people probably thought it was bad last time, but this would have been the first, when Liverpool eventually win a trophy, which they will, of course they will. Hopefully not. It'll be the first trophy they've won in the real social network era. And that's what's going to make it like the worst thing ever.
That's exactly the thing, because it was bad enough, wasn't it, with Istanbul and everything else, and just generally the past few months of being in this city, since they knocked City out, even after that, I think the flags and everything else, and you know, the way Everton had been as well.
Yeah,
it was just
and
also they bring it on themselves, because it's the comparisons, right? Talking about social media, every other fucking banner that I saw that was going was about us, and I'm thinking, just carry on, you're in the Champions League final, be out there, be enjoying it, don't be pointing to Everton. And exactly the case, if you're going to dish it out, you're going to get it back tenfold. And now it's, Everton are being Everton but worse, everyone's laughing at us, you know, Salah's had his heart broken, it's not fair, why is everyone so bitter? And you're thinking, you know what, if you had won it, you'd have been intolerable, and you know it, so just take it. It's swings and roundabouts, that's football. I'll give it out, but I can take it as well. And you know, sometimes I'll spit my dummy out, but it's football. And I know I've got red mates as well, but my red mates aren't really too extreme like
but
that
that's
either.
the thing,
but
isn't it? The people giving it out are normally the knobheads who've never been to. This is what I always think, and this is my thing about having the footy slag thing, which was Operation Footy Slag was in full effect on Saturday.
I couldn't go to town,
was
mate.
ridiculous, and it was
go.
full of people who'd clearly never been to a match before and were just out for the match and do full on footy slag antics. But as Evertonians, and as an older Evertonian, I feel like if and when Everton never win a trophy, I will fully deserve it. You know, you will fully deserve it. We will all fully deserve it. None of us have jumped on the bandwagon. We've put out, and I'm not saying there are proper Reds out there as well. I know there are, because they're literally there.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
literally there. They've come into. We've walked in today. We've said nothing. They've said not. We've all been quite jovial about the Champions League. We've had a bit of a laugh about it.
They're sound lads, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's...
But there's been like none of like. You know, sometimes you might come in and go, I bet you're fucking made up, aren't you? There's none of that here. But it's those elements that are just bad knobheads that don't deserve any of it. And also,
yeah.
And I seen this on Saturday, and I'll come on to that in a minute. There was people that were all Reds that I guarantee 5-10 minutes after kick-off, after the end of the game, that's it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have bothered them.
Yeah,
wouldn't have bothered them.
exactly, and there'll be nothing more of it now.
Yeah.
It was Liverpool were in a Champions League
Yeah.
final. They didn't win. Shirt can go in the bin,
Yeah.
or go back to the nephew that you borrowed
Yeah,
it off,
yeah.
and then off you go.
Yeah, and I'll pull that shirt out next time
Exactly.
we get to a final.
But we know, don't we? And it's horrible, because it's horrible it must be horrible for the real Reds as well, seeing those kinds of fans as well. They don't like them kinds of fans. This is the difference. Like, I've got Red fans that were, you know, that went to Kiev, and I said to them from the start, I said, I don't want you to win. All I'll say is be safe,
and have a good
you know,
time.
and have a good time, and that's it.
Well,
you know, I wasn't on the phone to him afterwards, giving it all this.
Yeah.
I was more just internally so happy, because you know how it would have been with all this. It's the social media side, and it's the plastic.
I enjoy my happiness than anyone else's.
Yeah,
so,
that's it.
Well,
exactly.
But the point, you know, it's like, as I say, a lot of them wouldn't have been asked 10 minutes after that game. I've seen them all. There's a lot of quite happy people in town on Saturday night after the game.
Nah.
I would have been distraught.
Oh, mate.
But the people who went over there, I think they enjoyed themselves. The Red Men have put a video out, and honestly, it's worth watching. It's like their diary of the day.
Yeah.
And you know what? It looks like they had a boss day. And it's actually, I don't really like saying this, Liverpool fans have got something, like proper Liverpool fans, that I think we miss as Evertonians. Some people don't like this, but they have got there's a hardcore, and I'm lucky to know a lot of them. Like, and because of what we do, they've got like the Red Men. You've got lads from the Anfield Rap.
Yeah.
You've got like Johnny Milburn, who used to do the footy show with us when we originally used to on the radio with me and Baz, and he's a boss fella. And they were all out there, and the Red Men were on the Liverpool stage. Liverpool put them on the stage, and they have these different nights, like they're called Boss, and they have this real sense of community, and I think that's gone missing from Everton.
It has.
When I started going the game, sorry, not when I started going the game. When I was going the game, I just met Sam, my wife now. She wasn't then, but when we started going out, one of the big things about going out was we'd go out after the match, and we'd go the Winslow disco was amazing, and then we go to town, and we go into like Matthew Street, Lennon's, and all these places, and you go to town, and there'd be Evertonians everywhere, and it was mad, because it was like the early 2000s. It was the Moyes era. We were all dead happy, and like you go to town after a match, and you'd see other Blues there, and we all knew each other, and it was very spontaneous, but there was a general like community, and I don't know if that community still. It's one thing I'm not jealous of anything they do. I'm not jealous of any cups they win or anything, but I do think at the moment they've got a really good community going. Yeah, and I just don't think I think that's something that as Evertonians, whether you like the flags and all that shit or anything else, I think that's something that as Evertonians it might just be one of those things that's just not in us, and maybe what separates us as people. But they do seem to have this really good community where they set up nights, and it's also very anti-establishment. Yeah. So, like, we used to have like the Kipper Lounge nights or the Blue Kipper Doos, and they were amazing nights, and some of the players would come, and we don't have those things anymore. So there's no sort of like, we had the end of season awards, the Everton one. We need something like that, but it's ours, not the clubs.
Completely.
So we can go, and they can be like local bands on who are like Evertonians, and do, because that's what they do. And I think it's really good. They've got like an anti-establishment feel about it.
And I think fair play to them as well, because the way things are run at their club isn't the best. I mean, just thinking about I think it's absolutely disgraceful that them fallouts were cancelled and the club did nothing about it.
Yeah.
That would have been Everton. They'd have arranged flights, whatever. It would have been sorted.
Yeah.
It would have been, and you had fucking Joe Anderson trying his best to sort it out for him, and I just thought, you know what, that's really shit. And I know for a fact, as you do, the lads there, a lot of Reds that say the way our club does things is a disgrace, but there is that hardcore group of their fans that are proper fans and they love their club and they're keeping it.
I think what I like about it is, though, and again, I don't want to, I'm not being like, but what I like, I'm so made up. But I'm saying you can take things from other clubs and try and instill them, and I know they've got a real, like, as I say, like an anti-establishment thing going on, but I think their club are having to react to that. I think that's what pushes their club at times. Is they've got Tony Barrett in now, who's like their fan liaison guy, and he has to react to all that stuff. So that on Saturday, when they were in, I thought this was quite ironic. It was in Shevchenko Park, which I thought was going to be like a really fucking omen for them. But I thought it was amazing that they had this stage set up and they give it over to like the Anfield Rap and to the Redmen, and got people on stage. They've got this lad called Jamie Webster who writes like Liverpool songs. It's where that Ali and all that shit have come from. So they feed off each other, and it looked for them amazing. Like if we reversed it and if we reversed it and made about Everton, it'd be amazing as well. And I just wish we had that side of things. And listen, that side of things comes out when you're doing well.
I was going to say, it's the success we're missing.
Because a lot of them have said, well, I know we got beat, but the journey was amazing. And I can appreciate that. Yeah. I can appreciate that, because when I went to Wembley, I mean, last time we went to a cup final, 2009, I'll look back on that with fond memories. Yes, we didn't get the cup at the end, but I remember the day.
It's great day.
I remember I've got a fucking firm reason for remembering the day, because I've got a niece and a fucking nephew out of it, basically, because the pub we went to was run by my now brother-in-law. Yeah. And that's where my sister met him. And when we went back in 2012, though, that relationship was then established firmer. And whereas the week after, he was sleeping on my mum's couch. And now they're married and they've got 2 lovely kids.
Oh, so there you go.
So it's not always about winning the game of footy. Yeah, it's about winning hearts. So I do wish we had a little bit of that, but I'm fucking delighted they got beat. And one of the things I was going to do Saturday, but I didn't do, the little devil on my shoulder was like, we're not far from Old Trafford, are we? And I was going to go to Old Trafford and get the Real Madrid scarf and put it in like the statues and like draped over like George Best or whatever, and then something inside me went, no, because then if I put it on Twitter,
you would get death threats.
I would be dead. Like, and then like I was thinking, then people who I am close with will be like, you're a knobhead. Yeah. So I thought, no, I won't do that. So what I did do is I went home and I sat down for a bit, and I was just like, I was looking at my app, like my Uber app, tells me what it's like out. I was like, my go to work, because the day before on the Friday I hadn't been to work. I'd been to a funeral, so I couldn't work on the Friday, and Friday's the day I normally work. And I thought, I was home from the funeral about 7:30, and I hadn't had a drink. I don't really drink that much, and I thought, but I was like, it'll be dead tonight because everyone will be saving themselves for tomorrow, so I didn't bother. I thought, like, I need to make a little bit of money, going on holiday in a few weeks. So I went out, and oh my fucking god, town was just unbelievable. Anyone who uses Uber, it was 4.5. Yeah. So like, first job, I got a job to like Kensington, I got like 20 odd quid. Second job, I got a job to Warrington, that was 95 quid, right? But to them, that would have been 125 quid, right? And then there was a story in the Echo today, some girl crying, saying she was charged 95 quid from Liverpool to Heswell because she didn't understand what 4.5 on the Uber app. So she's making out like kicking off on, I complained, and it's like, on the app it tells you how much it's going to cost there or thereabouts. And then all the comments just made me laugh. This is a disgrace, this is why you should use your local firms. I'm like, yeah, I didn't see one local taxi in town on Saturday. There was no Deltas anywhere.
Was there not?
There was no black cabs.
No.
There was just people like out of a zombie film, just like banging on windows, take me home. People just
my
walking
gosh.
for miles. It was lucky it was like a nice night.
Yeah.
People sitting outside Lime Street waiting to get trains at 3 o'clock in the morning. I think the first train on a Sunday morning is about 7:30.
Nah.
So, yeah, people got home and they were quite happy. I took them home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
of course, mate.
and
Like,
what they don't complain about is the week before when it's dirt cheap to get home because there is no surge because it isn't busy and I'm getting fuck all for it.
Exactly.
And you know what I mean? So it swings and roundabouts. You all decided to go out on the busiest night Liverpool has seen for probably 20 odd years,
Yeah.
and enjoy yourselves. If you weren't expecting that you were going to have to pay a fortune to get home, then you're a fucking idiot.
Exactly. Bank holiday weekend, Champions League final, sun's blaring, everything's going on. It's just like, you know, you're gonna just throwing toys out the pram though, innit?
First people I picked up were 6 girls, and they went out for the match. They booked because it was bank holiday weekend for a hen night, for a hen weekend. So they were like, "We've walked into this." Like that, so that literally was like, we've booked for a hen weekend, and we're like, we've got here, and it's like, town is just a massive. But
you couldn't even get into Concert Square,
exactly.
could you?
So, but while it was on, I'm sure that made it a more a better experience for them because it would have been a really happy, buzzing kind of place. Even if they're getting beat, town would have been, I imagine, for them would have been a sight. For us, it would have been like hell on fucking earth.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like, then to complain that you've been charged, like, what did you expect? Like, if you tried to get a black cab on Saturday, I imagine the black cab driver would not have had the clock on.
Yeah.
He would have gone, right, it's 50 quid to
Yeah.
wherever you're going, because that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
at least with Uber, and I can only say this because I work for them, and is that you get told it is a fucking rip-off, but at least you know it's a rip-off. I mean, literally, I didn't get to the end and go, that's 125 quid, mate. That guy knew when he got into the taxi
exactly
how much it was going to cost him. He needed to get home to Warrington. His missus was in a mess. He needed to get home.
Yeah.
It was like, you know what I mean? He knew it was going to cost him a fortune. It was either that or like wait for a normal private hire that we wouldn't have no idea when it was coming, and could still be there now waiting for it with the way it is. I got to him within like 12 minutes of him ordering it. Like, you know what I mean? Listen, I don't set the prices, but I just thought this girl, and I can't believe the Echo have actually ran the fucking story as well. Mate. But that just says everything about the Echo.
It's everything though, and it's because it's Liverpool and stuff. It always seems to be that way, doesn't it? There's always going to be the fallout of, oh, this is so unfair, and this went wrong, and this went wrong, and this. Like, at the end of the day, you know exactly what you're walking into. As you said, it's the busiest freaking day that the city's seen for decades. Bank holiday weekend, Champions League final against Real Madrid. All the tourists have come to because they wanted to come to watch their club play in their city. That's why the LA song makes me laugh. We come from Liverpool, no, but you don't know. And I know people will say, "Oh, you've," but like, I literally live on the doorstep.
It's got a really weird accent. That's all.
It's exactly, you know what I mean. It's got a weird accent, but it's just, but it's just mad, isn't it? It's just absolutely mad.
The fallout has been.
I've loved it. I've been loving it so much.
Those flags were down so quickly.
Oh, they were. But do you know what? Fair play to a few. I've seen a few that were still out wearing their kits and still wearing, like the kids were wearing the kits, but they were still. I think was it the Beer Keller, and they had we've conquered all of you. It was we're never going to stop. And I am that bitter person. So I was walking around with my mates who'd come up from the Midlands. So I'm walking around like mumbling to myself. So I looked up and I said, "We're never going to stop." And I go, "But you fucking did though, didn't you?" And so they're like, "Do you have to comment and everything?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do. Just leave me to it."
They're going to throw it in our faces like every second. Like there's a shop in Old Swan, and it was like the Champions League store with a picture of Mo Salah, and I was just like, could that be any more fitting? Like, I drove past it on the way back from Manchester, and I was just like, I just want to get out and take loads of pictures of this, because it is just fucking amazing. It couldn't be any better than that. But
oh, what a delight.
But you know what I mean? It's just the way it is, isn't it? Like, you know, it's just,
if you're going to dish it out, you've got to be able to take it. It's football, and it could be, you know, the time will come again no doubt sooner rather than later when they're giving us pure shit again.
What makes you laugh is though, that's the other thing about it though. I've seen loads of I've seen some of their fans and I've seen loads of journalists go on about it and going on about it, going, why is everyone like delighted that Liverpool got beat? why is no one backing an English side in Europe? It's like, well, hang on, why do we have to fucking back your English sides if we don't? This is what makes me laugh, right? Is that right? For 9 months of the year, this country and all the media
hate.
But it's not that. They trade on the hate that we have. They trade on the rivalries. There's been moaning going on for years about the Premier League and how it's got rid of the real rivalries. You know, when Arsenal play Man United, where's the fucking hate?
Yeah, it's not like that no more.
Yeah,
is
it's
it?
all like pally, and it's all like, you know. It wouldn't surprise me soon if fans start like sitting next to each other. Do you know what I mean? It's getting so fucking
half and half.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Half and half shirts.
Exactly.
There's people at the final with half and half fucking shirts.
Dickhead.
I was like, what even is this? What is this?
It's like, but that's the point, isn't it? It's like football is about horrible bitterness. That's what it's truly about.
I hate it. We've said this, haven't we, Ped? I hate it when a Red comes to me and says,
yeah.
Why? I was talking to a bloke yesterday, and he's actually the guy who's like the security guy round Everton, but he's a Liverpool fan. But he was proper sound, like he was a really nice chap. So I was chatting to him while I was waiting for a bus, and he was talking to me about the final, and he said, did you watch it? I said, yeah. And I said, I'm not going to be a dickhead to you, but I said, I'm glad you lost. And he said, see, I don't get that. He said, in 1995, I genuinely wanted you to win. He said, why are Evertonians like that? I don't get it. And I said, you don't have to get it. But I just said, it is just the way it is. And I said, I don't like the fact that you wanted us to win. I'd rather you be saying...
You probably wanted us to win because they were playing Man United.
Yeah, well, that's...
So there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Would they ever want Man United to win? No, they wouldn't want Man United to win. They'd fucking be going mad if Man United would win, or Chelsea won. I didn't see anyone patting anyone on the back then. It's just like, alright, we're maybe not their biggest rivals, but you're our biggest rivals.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't want Man United to win, but it's the big thing all the way around. Every year in the Premier League, it's like, you have these they're trying to create false rivalries. They're trying to create more rivalries in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So that there is always something, every game that's on, these two teams don't like each other, blah, 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 he said this and he said that. They're always trying to stoke the fires, and then you wonder why. When a team gets to the final, no fucker wants them to win. Because why would you want them to win? To be honest, there's not very many teams that I would want to win. Like, last week I didn't even watch the FA Cup final. I had no interest in two teams that I don't give a fuck about, basically. So why would I want to sit down and watch them win? Maybe if one of them had been a lesser team or whatever, I might have gone, well, I want them to win because of this or because of whatever, but there was nothing I could find between them, so I didn't watch it. So I just don't get this thing of like, it's a disgrace that no one wants to. Again, no, if I was Liverpool fans, I'd be like, I don't want any of you fucking cunts to want us to win. We hate you hate us, and when we win, we're gonna fucking revel in this forever, and we're gonna be going, ha ha ha, you cunts.
Yeah, that's it, and then vice versa, and that's how it is, and that's how it should be. I like that. I like having that football to have that bit of like tenacity and a bit of bitterness and a bit of everything else, you know, like that's your thing, that's your colours, that's your team, that's your club, and it takes like the competitiveness out of it when it's nice. I hate even seeing after the fucking Champions League final, you've got, I can't remember what player it is, he's going over to Lallana and giving him a big hug, and they're smiling at each other, and Lallana's smiling, and I would never. Speaking of the FA Cup final as well, a couple of days after that, Lukaku posts a picture on his Instagram of him playing, like, just chilling. And I thought, if that was a blue after a cup final and they're, like, just chilling, I would lose my shit. It's like it doesn't mean anything anymore. It doesn't mean it. Yeah, exactly. And that's why, you know, the diehards, like you said, the Red Men Next Door and people from the Anfield Rap who we both do bits of work and stuff with, and they're nice lads. We give them shit, they give us shit, but we're mates, and like they get it as well, and I love that. I wouldn't want us to come in and like have big hugs. Who are you playing this weekend? Oh, Bournemouth. Oh, well, I hope you win. No!
Like, I come here all the time, and like they'll be like, look over and go, why are you smiling? And I go, because we didn't get fucking beat or whatever. Not like, sometimes I won't give them the satisfaction and go, because you use good, but I'll, you know, you know, just this thing of like, why do we all have to be fucking matey mates? It's just like, there's got to be. That's what makes football the way it is. That's why other sports are shit.
Yeah.
That's why other sports are shit. Rugby union is shit because they're all mates.
It's all too nice.
Cricket, it winds, not like when they come over for the Ashes or whatever, and it's just like they're all having a bevy afterwards because like, oh well, you know, and then 3 days later they're playing against each other, and you're like, no, I wouldn't go near any of them for the entire time. Like, you know, in American sport, it's like there's no real proper competition because, number one, they're all miles away from each other, but a lot of the time there's no, I don't know, the relationships don't get built up because half the time you're worried about if your own team's going to stay in your own city, never mind if it's
that's outrageous.
I know, but it's never, so that those rivalries, that's why English football is superior, I think, to a lot of places, is because the rivalries are just so good, and if we lose that, we'll lose our sport. It's as simple as that.
We will.
If we lose that effect of like, say what winds me more than anything in the, like literally anything, and I've seen this before, and I've seen it from Liverpool fans. It's Liverpool fans not from Liverpool who call like Scousers, who'll go, oh, you Scouse cunt, and you're like, you're literally disrespecting the place that your club comes from, 100%. And you see that all the time, and it's fucking horrible.
It is horrible. The other bad thing now as well is like when I went to Newcastle away, so you're thinking this is Newcastle, these are Geordies, and they're chanting like sign on, feed the Scousers. You had Manchester United, Manchester City fans, Newcastle fans, all that when they come to Goodison or we went to their ground singing feed the Scousers, and I thought, do you actually know what you're saying? Do you actually know what you're saying?
I do.
Have a think.
I don't like that. I don't like that. That's a southern chant as well. Yeah, I don't like it when I don't like the other one where people like have a go at other clubs for not filling the ground as well. Yeah, because that to me is
people can't afford to.
That's a social geo, you know, political thing there. Where fans should be sticking together for those kind of things. We shouldn't be we shouldn't be going, well, you've got less than us. You should be, that's where you should be sticking together. You should find other things, but you know, the socio-political views. When it comes to stuff like that, absolutely. There's no need, and you said that you get all these people constantly saying, I fucking hate Northerners, fucking hate them, who just put Man United, Liverpool, like, and you're just like, do you actually know what you're saying? Because that boils my piss, mate, that really annoys. Like, fans, this is the problem that goes on with football, and again, we'll take this, this is what you get, this, seeing all the sob stories, and it's like, and I seen one yesterday, and it's like the two fellas who got missed the connecting flight, and now they're stuck in the Ukraine or whatever, and there's all these reasons, and they're all like, if you read it and you're like, you could read it and just laugh your head off and go, oh, this is fucking hilarious. But if it was someone from your club, you'd do everything to get them, to help them, just because it's someone else's club. I know we have a little laugh and stuff, but I just think that's something that football fans are very culpable of, and everyone's including this, of not backing each other up as a football fan at times. It's like every in the cup final, oh, there's no fucking tickets, oh, that's your problem, and then the year after it's your problem, and you're like, why isn't everyone supporting us? And you're like, well, if we all supported each other, then maybe we'd get more than fucking 18,000
when it comes
tickets.
To the matters like that, absolutely. This ticket allocations and all that sort of stuff, bang on, we were all fighting for the same thing in that way, because ultimately football is like, you know, the business, if you like, and they're more and more trying to see us as consumers and customers and get us to buy, and we have to make a point of going, look, you know, we're all in this together. We might hate each other's teams and clubs, but we're all got the common denominator is that we love the game, and we want to keep it that way. So
the best thing about them not winning it though is that my mum could go to Costco on Sunday for her eye test, because she was very unsure whether she could get down there. So she messaged me straight after the match and said, does this mean the Dock Road will be open now so I can go to Costco? So
of course,
you've got to think about these things, you know what I mean?
I had a lovely time as well. A couple of my mates come up from where I've moved up from, and we had a lovely bank holiday Sunday, went down to the docks.
Tall ships wouldn't have got the love, would they?
Tall ships wouldn't have got the love, and it was great. It was
all about the tall ships, not six times.
Exactly.
Did you see the video of the bus?
No.
Someone got into the bus, like
stop it.
Go on. And the fella's like, oh mate, you're gonna get to meet the sack, and the lad's going, it's alright, oh, just 1 minute mate, just 1 minute, and he's like, the fella's like, are you Everton? He was like, yeah I am, and he's just going around going, yeah, just a second lad, oh that's funny this, isn't it, 6 times and all this, and the fella's like, in the end the fella's like, can you go mate, you're gonna get me the sack. yeah I'll go now mate, and he's just going around with a bus, like somewhere there's gonna be like 30,000 Liverpool t-shirts with 6 times on.
Yeah. Oh god.
That obviously they have to get pre-made, like, and they'll be on the way to fucking Africa or somewhere else.
We'll see them, won't we, in a few years, just doing the rounds, like.
They'll be worth a fortune.
Someone that doesn't speak English, that doesn't know what the shirt says.
I can't wait.
Oh, love it.
Let's move on. As much as we want to talk about this, have you been following this Tommy Robinson thing?
I have, on and off. It's causing quite a lot of debate, isn't it, and a lot of outrage. He's jailed, was it 13 odd months or something? He's going to go down for. Apparently. So it's all just a bit mad, isn't it?
The best thing I think I've seen from this is Roseanne Barr.
Yeah.
Tweeted for like free Tommy. Roseanne fucking Barr, who has become this fucking right wing actual crank, and her show's just started again in the States. And they all love it because they're all saying it's a true representation of a Trump family. I don't know why John Goodman agreed to do it, because he's very much the opposite.
Yeah.
He's done things on Saturday Night Live and took the piss out of them. But I suppose a job's a job, and sometimes you've just got to go, well, maybe he's the reasoned voice on, I don't know.
Yeah.
But she's a fucking crank. I can't bear her. She's like a proper like get them out of our country and all this.
Yeah.
But it just amazes me, the stupidity of people. Because whether you agree with what Tommy Robinson represents, and that's not even his fucking real name for a start, he's got a double-barreled name for a start.
Yeah, but he wants to be.
But he wants to be Tommy Robinson.
Tommy Robinson.
Yeah, that's Tommy Robinson.
Exactly, not Mr. Charles
Laxley. His name is fucking Laxley, right?
Bellend.
So he's done, like, don't forget, he used to be in the fucking like English Defence League.
Yeah, he was the founder of it, wasn't he?
Yeah. He's done all kinds of horrible things, and then he tried to reinvent himself as like a man of the people, a man standing up for the people, a man who doesn't hate Muslims, he just hates some of them, right? Even though he basically said he hated all of them. But it was just a fucking stupidity of people, right? Of this whole, you know, who are now free Tommy. What makes you laugh is I seen someone in the comments of that Uber thing saying the Echo shouldn't be backing this, they should be reporting on free Tommy and all this, and I was like, oh right,
get me off.
Let's get it now. Like, this fucking clown, right? The reason the media don't pay him any attention is because he is a fucking clown.
Exactly.
Right? They understand that no one wants to hear about the things they has to say because they're not balanced, right? He was outside a court case of these this paedophile ring, apparently, and where it is truly going on, right? Now they were Muslims. Now if he was really trying to, you know, go against paedophile rings, there's been plenty of white paedophile rings,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Where was he outside them?
Exactly.
Right, so what he's basically saying, he's grooming paedophiles because they're Muslims. That's where it was, right? Now, whether you agree with that or not, or whether you think he's spot on, what you can't do is go outside an ongoing court case where a jury can be swayed in any way and report on it. You can't do that. Like, I don't know whether this has happened to you. It might not have, but when I used to do the Blue Room, and there was a lot of stuff going on about Hillsborough, and a lot of stuff about when they were doing the inquest, right? And you'll see it soon when the and this is how the people who were involved will try and get out of it. You couldn't talk about it. You just couldn't, because you're not allowed to sway. That's why they always say court restrictions are involved. You're not allowed to go into what may have happened. You've got to stick to like the facts of the day and how they are. Because if you start talking about it, and a juror can be prejudiced, and once a juror is prejudiced, then the defence or can use that and say we don't want him. Yeah. And if anyone's watched any of these like programs about court cases, a lot goes into getting the jury. You want to try and get, like, I don't know if you watched the O.J. Simpson program that was on.
Yeah, well, I've watched a few documentaries
Well, there was like
on that.
a lot of it was like, we need to get as many black people who will be on OJ's side onto it. So you try and find ways of trying to get rid of jury members you don't like. So they have this big like cross-examination before. If you watch much coverage, no, or yeah, or how old are you, white, blah blah, who are you more likely to vote for, blah blah. You find reasons to get rid of them because they know if it's a person that will come down on the side of that person, you've got to get rid of them.
Yeah.
So if you've got a jury and he goes, if you don't think the case is going your way, and you go, there's someone on that jury, 2 or 3 of them, and you're thinking they might be leaders that would want to get rid of them. Something he's done will have fucking... If the court case, if the the defence of those people could go, he is putting out anti-Muslim stuff, which would sway these jurors, they need to get rid of them.
Yeah.
That can fucking destroy a court case, and once they're gone, that could take years to.
So that guy could be then freed, you know, doing whatever he's doing, and
he could continue. He could get a passport, get out the country, flee,
and then go somewhere else and carry on and be fine.
Yeah, exactly. So this dickhead could cause that by doing one of these videos. Now
he is exactly that. He's an idiot, isn't he?
He's not
an absolute idiot.
Not letting whether he believes what more does he want? They're in court, they're going right. If he does, he might want it all over the news, right? I understand what he's saying. It, you know, it does feel like in this country at times, like, not just a lot of things go under the radar by choice. I mean, how many times has there been like a mass protest in London, thousands of people protesting over the NHS or whatever, jobs or whatever, and if the cameras are not on it, then it hasn't happened.
Well, it's like most of the media that goes out, mainstream media and papers and news and stuff like that, is so right wing and stuff that, like you said, they're not going to report on certain things. We get fed what they want to feed us, and as we said earlier on, you know, people are happy to go, yep, that's true, yep, that's true, and then I'm gonna pass it on to this dickhead here, and this dickhead's gonna pass it on to these 3 dickheads, and before you know it, all the dickheads have got the same opinions, and it just drives me mad.
Basically, how Brexit got through.
Yeah, this is Brexit Britain. This is what happened because people don't like to think for themselves anymore.
But that's what makes it even weirder, because we do live in, I think, in a very right-wing country.
We do, yeah.
And I think we've got the biggest influence of people like the Mail and people like that. Now, why haven't the Mail got this front page? If it was a big thing, why haven't they got it? Why aren't they leading with the story? And it's just mad. It's like he's gone down. People are like saying, "Oh, the court," and you've got all these right wingers from America now jumping on it, like they did with the Alfie thing. And in fact, some of them are putting them together, going, "This is England now." It's like, and you're like, you know what? The weird thing is, we hate our government as well, but actually on these kind of things, we're actually. I
won't take it from America though. I'm not being funny, but I'm not going to take it.
They're like going, you're Britain's and you're like, you do understand that we have a right wing fucking government in, like they're on your side. You weird man. But it's like,
God, they are idiots.
They're like, Britain. If we ever get like Britain, we've got no rules, and you're like, we have got rules, mate. One of our rules is that you can't prejudice a fucking jury. You can't. This is why stuff doesn't go on telly and all that kind of thing. And then they're saying he's getting 13 months, and it's because how'd you get done for it? And it's because he had priors, and it was just like, oh my god, people just can't get out the way themselves to actually see where the facts are. They mightn't agree with the facts, and that's fine. You can, but if things are facts, then you have a right to disagree with the facts. You do not have a right to make up fantasy stories to fit in with what you think is the narrative of the story.
Yeah, that's exactly it. But people just they'll hear what they want to hear. And nowadays, well, people just want to have an argument over everything. People love to have an argument with you about everything and anything. In fact, people will look for it. This is another thing we've spoken about. People will look for something to have a go about, because there are people in this world who just thrive on arguing and debating, and I'm right and you're wrong, and that's it, and I'm not going to back down. And
people make lives out of it now, like people like Katie Hopkins. They make lives off. I seen a post that she put up on Twitter 2 weeks ago, right, or last week, right, and it was a picture of what's her name, what's the one who got married to?
Meghan.
No, Meghan, yeah, but the one who got married to William as well.
Oh, Pippa.
No,
Kate.
Kate, right.
Pippa's the
There's a
sister.
picture of Kate in her wedding dress and a picture of Meghan Markle in her wedding dress.
Yeah.
And it said something like, "You can't buy class," and it was just like. Just like, number one, they both looked amazing, because they would look amazing.
Because their dresses cost about £500,000.
And it's their wedding day and the money's been spent and they both look amazing, right? But you have just put that out there because you know for a fact it will cause murder.
Stirring hate.
You are stirring hate. And what I loved afterwards is that people started putting the pictures of it, right? Of her and pictures of people who are, women who are older than her. And it's like, she looks like when in Star Wars, in the prequels, when the Emperor becomes all wrinkled, when he uses his powers of hate and then becomes all wrinkled, and that's what to me she looks like. Her hate has accelerated her fucking age. It's horrible. These people just thrive on hate, and they just put it out there, and they just drop it into the consciousness of people, and they don't know what they're talking about half the time.
Yeah. They probably don't even. She probably doesn't even remember what she's tweeted out or what she said on various.
She knows it'll get her on a TV show or something, and that'll pay the bills. And they've got other people now starting to do this, and it's fucking horrible that we live in a world. And America's worse for it. You've got people who are fucking horrible people who are staring stuff all the time, who know they get people behind them because people are lost and they just want to follow something, and that's the problem. We live in a world now where there's all these, they are literally false icons, because they just give somebody something to follow
and make them feel a little bit important or whatever. This is like Charles Manson shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
but it's like the whole thing last week with him. You know, very quickly mention this. I know, press for time again.
We could go on.
I know we could, but there was a thing last week, and I think I might have mentioned it last week. I think I probably did mention it last week. It's the fact that Trump said that those NFL players, the ones who kneel, should be deported from the country, right? For having, and that's but they're using their right now. People with guns, their right is to have a gun, and that's a right, and that's what they always stand by. But the people who kneel, so they don't have a right.
Yeah, exactly.
So they don't have a right to do something which is in the Constitution, and yet people with guns do have a right. And it's like the people on the right don't understand that they're allowed to have guns because a totalitarian government, I mentioned this last week because I've just nearly got that wrong again. They're allowed to have their guns to stop a government taking over, and yet a government put pressure on the NFL to make this law to stop the players having rights. How the fuck do how can those people not see those things together? Because they don't want to see those things, because all they see is a white guy with a gun and a black guy kneeling.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucking mental.
The world is mental.
It is mental. People don't even stick to their own rules.
No,
they don't stick to their own rules and that's what's mad.
Yeah.
Let's finish off with a nice happy story. You haven't seen this till I just showed you.
No, I haven't seen this.
The Spider-Man in Paris. He's not really Spider-Man, but
or is he?
He could be, because the new Spider-Man is Miles Morales, who is half Spanish, half African American.
Oh,
the world's changing.
It is. It is.
There was a baby dangling from a building. Now, Michael Jackson was not involved. What I was impressed by was the baby's strength.
This is
I was like, I would have fell by then.
How does it? This it actually blew my mind, because isn't it like holding on with one arm as well?
Probably.
I was waiting for it to start.
Probably like doing pull-ups.
Pull-ups, but it's bizarre, isn't it? So like the baby's just hanging on, one armed, like. What? How did the baby? I want to know more about this now.
Apparently, the mother wasn't there. The dad went out and left it. Right. So it must have got out and slipped. The next door neighbour, I think, had hold of one of its arms
over a balcony or something.
But he couldn't like physically get to it because he would have had to I think he would have had to let go, and by let go, and by letting go, he would have
dropped,
maybe have endangered them more. Of course, he would have.
Yeah.
So he decided to hold on. This man goes through a crowd of people who are just staring, climbs up, gets to the baby about 5 floors up in a minute, grabs the baby as he's climbing over, and literally just like throws the kid clear as he's climbing up. So I think he's from Mali, and he's basically, so he met the French president the day after. they've said he can apply. He didn't have. This is what's even better. He didn't have a right to be in France.
Yeah.
He could have gone to Italy, but he went to France because France is obviously people might know this, but France is a French-speaking country, right? Which really helps. If you're in France and you can speak French, I know. So obviously he's probably a French speaker.
Yeah,
there's a lot of Africans in. If anyone's ever been to like Paris, there's a lot of Africans there. You know, that's
French speaking.
French speaking. It helps.
Yeah,
it makes sense, doesn't it?
It does make sense. Yeah.
It's why Australians come here.
Yeah.
Basically. So obviously there's a big community. There's been made over the last few years about it, very much similar to where the right wing are getting over it, because again they blame all the, and every time there's a problem, and this is why ISIS feeds on it, because they go, well, let's go to Paris, it's full of French speaking Africans, we can cause more shit, cause more put more diverts in, you know, and make shit happen. So basically he shouldn't have been there. But he got to meet the French president, who said you can apply for French citizenship now, so he'll get that. And they've also said you can apply for the French police. So out of it, not police, sorry, fire brigade.
Bloody hell!
So
because he can climb.
Well, they basically said, well, your skill set's there.
Yeah.
So basically, he's going to get a good job out of it. He's going to be a citizen, and for doing a good deed.
That's lovely.
No, I can't wait till the fallout. I can't wait till they go through all his tweets and find that he said something.
Yeah.
You know. They do a Reds, they do that. But it's
I'm surprised nothing's come out on Ramos. He's obviously lived a very clean life.
I know he's on Twitter, because if he was, they would have found something by now. God, we didn't even talk about Ramos, did we? About all that fucking shit. It's mad, isn't it?
It's all a bit mad. But no, that's such a
nice,
lovely thing to see.
But something similar happened here. No one climbed up, but a guy who wasn't from here went into a building burning and grabbed two people and pulled them out, and they deported them. Because basically they found out, he got a bit of headlines, they found out he shouldn't be here and they deported him.
It's two completely flip sides of things, isn't it? When it comes to things like that, you think, God, you know, surely a good turn like that. He saved two people's lives.
The basis of any community is to have good people in it, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter where those good people are from, right?
Yeah.
But the problem recently is that we now associate anybody who's from a foreign country or is Muslim or whatever as being a bad person.
Yeah.
That's how we paint them straight away.
It's because, again,
we don't give them a chance to earn our trust. We just basically say, right, you're bad because you're from a certain place.
Yeah.
So what's fantastic about that is that this man, by doing that, has gone to the world, I'm actually a nice person. I've thought about that child before I've thought about anyone else. You know,
yeah, because he could have got deported for doing that.
Basically,
so he.
But obviously, he wasn't thinking about anything. He was thinking about helping her. He's seen a baby and thought, I can't sit here and let that happen. All these other people were standing there, and listen, they might have been standing there for their own reasons. They couldn't climb. I wouldn't be able to climb up there.
Not a
so
chance.
He's gone, I can do that. That's something that's in my skill set.
Yeah,
it's on my CV. Climb buildings.
Got himself a nice job out of it.
Hopefully, yeah. And he's done it. And you're right. In other countries, like this country, we would just go, oh,
cheers
you're
for that.
Not here,
Actually,
you shouldn't be here, are you? You know, then there'll be, you know, you've seen in America at the moment as well. They ICE, it's called. And they're like, send the ICE to the voting stations. So if anyone tries to vote and they're illegal, we can ship them back. They're using any opportunity in the States at the moment to ship.
Sneaky,
it's fucking sick,
man.
Innit?
Yeah.
Last week, 2 women got locked up and nearly deported, even though they were American citizens, because they just happened to be speaking Spanish to each other. Right? And they were just like, the guy was like, we don't have Spanish people around here. And they were like, well, we speak Spanish to each other. In New York last week, this high-end lawyer, kicked off at these 2 people for speaking Spanish in a Starbucks and caused murder, and that fella got it on tape, and he's being fucking took to the cleaners about it now. Yeah. Because everyone's like the racist
he's
lawyer.
A racist,
basically, yeah, because
Bloody
he kicked
hell.
off going, you shouldn't be speaking Spanish, and it's like, hang on. Fucking like, go to the West Coast, everyone speaks Spanish, it's just the way it is.
It's like when you go to the States, isn't it? Like, everything is, you'll get if something's played over a tannoy, it'll be played in a Spanish after, or most people, if you needed someone and said, oh, so can I grab you, do you speak Spanish, I just need help with this or whatever, you find it in seconds. Like,
what difference does it make if someone comes into a country and works hard and does all the graft, that local people won't do. They decide to speak Spanish to each other or whatever.
And then where does it end then? Does it mean that, like,
you've got to get rid of all your heritage?
Does this mean, like, I'm not entitled to move to Liverpool and get a job here because I wasn't physically born here? You know what I mean?
No,
it's a joke.
It makes me laugh because all these people that come in, and most of them just want to come in and be hard-working people and do the jobs that we don't want to do.
Yeah.
And I know people go, yeah, but they drive down the economy because they take slave wage. They don't. What drives down the economy is the fact that people are allowed to pay them slave wage. Maybe if the government looked after all of us and said, you're not allowed to do that, you've got to pay them a minimum wage so that the rest of our standards were all right. You know what I mean? It's like, it drives me mad because we just have... I've had it in the past as well, and I don't think anything of it, where two people will be speaking their language to each other. But I've also had people, like, I've had women who are not from England who've conversed in English, and I've actually turned around going, how come you're speaking English to each other? And they go, because we're in England.
Oh,
it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And also it helps us, if we're speaking English to each other and we've got to go to work, that helps us in our day-to-day job. So that does help you assimilate. And I've had 6 like Spanish people who are all sitting in my car and will speak English to each other, again for those reasons. If they're living in England, they think, right, we need to speak English because when we get out of this cab or when we speak to you, we're
getting practice.
You're practicing, and it's better language, and it's why people move to like France if they're learning French, because it helps them bed into the language. Because
you have to,
so it happens both ways, and I've got no problem with it either. You might have 2 people who can speak English, and you know what? They want to have a conversation with each other where it's like if we have a conversation, we'll go blah 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 blah, and it's like we're thrown back and forth, and it's fast, and you're getting things across. Where if we sat here speaking French to each other,
I'd have to have a dictionary.
Well, not only that, but it's like it's slower pronunciations and all this kind of thing. And sometimes you just want to let your hair down and have a good goss with someone.
That's it.
So it drives me mental. The whole thing is just like everyone gets looked at the moment in the wrong context, where we should all just be nice.
We should be nice.
But one thing I'll finish off is one thing I did watch this weekend, which was fucking boss, Coco. Have you
that Disney? Is it
oh my
Disney
god,
film?
it's so good.
Right. Is this out at the cinema now, or is it on DVD?
No, it's on. Well, it's not. It's on. It's also on Jag.
Yeah.
It's also on Jag.
Sort that out for me after, because I really want to watch that.
Oh, it's
really
so good.
That. Is it?
It's so good. And talking about different communities and also family.
Yeah.
It's because obviously, and also family in different communities. How we look at people in our families and older people. It's so good, honest to God.
Is it a heartwarming one?
Oh yeah, but not in like it's in your face. It's
not sickly.
Not sickly, just heritage. It's so well made, and the songs are amazing. Because what I found as well recently is when I went to America last year, I was on the West Coast, and the further you go down, the more Spanish influences. Because like I went to a shopping mall right next to Mexico, and your phone is Mexican.
That's mad.
Like the wall was there, and there was a wall. The wall was there, and everything. Like your phone's Mexican, and on the radio was all Mexican.
That's crazy.
I know everyone there was Mexican, but the music, and like we went in San Diego. There's a lot of nice if you're in San Diego, you gotta go for a burrito.
Yeah,
like Ron Burgundy's told you have to. So, but all the I started getting into all like the Mexican music. It's so nice, and there's a nice Mexican restaurant in town. It's in Queen Square. And they were playing all, and I actually really liked the music. So the music in the film, I loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, I was properly into it. So all I've been listening to since is like Coco songs. I love it.
I love the thought of you driving like here every day. Yeah, with your what do you call them little ones?
Guitars.
Is it?
Called guitars.
No, like don't they have like a special? If anyone knows this.
It's just racist.
Just
being racist now. You're saying that they have special guitars.
Like not a banjo, you know what I'm saying?
Little guitars for their little Mexican hands. Their little brown Mexican hands. God, you're so racist. I don't even know why.
God, set me off now.
Honest to God. No, it's boss, honestly, it's weird.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that.
Because the funny thing was, when it came out, I was a bit like, I don't really watch Pixar films in the pictures, I'll always wait for them. And then when I was in Disney Paris, and they had a big thing out of it, a big dog. And we love dogs, so my missus got a picture of it. But there was no explanation of what it was because we hadn't watched the film.
Yeah.
But then when you watch the film, you're like, oh, I get it now, and it's
and
honestly,
that's the dog.
It's the dog, but if you watch it, it's brilliant. Honestly, it's really, really good, and it's really like you watch it with you just have a smile on your face at the end of it.
That's what you need.
Like, it's not
innit?
like it's like heartwarming without being like. It might bring a tear to your eye, but not in like a terrible way. Like a really
not like
nice...
the Lion King way, where Simba, when Mufasa dies.
Oh, Mufasa.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to say Simba then.
I was gonna. No, I thought you meant his uncle. Then yeah, Mufasa.
Yeah.
No, like it's like I don't want to say anything because I hate spoiling.
Yeah.
Things
I'll watch it.
But you will just be like after you just be like, that was boss.
Good.
Like, I feel really nice now. Like that's what you'll feel.
Everyone should watch that instead of all the negative shit we've been talking
don't watch
about.
Go watch Coco. Brighten up your day. Honestly, it's boss. And all I've been listening is the soundtrack since. I love it. I want a guitar now and learn how to play.
That can be for the next show, can't it? If
learn how to play by the next time? Come in and just start going down.
I'm a demanding person.
Yeah. That and French.
Yeah, that's it. I want you to and simultaneously as well. You know what I mean? Playing some
there
nice
you go.
stuff.
There you have it. This has been Any Other Business. Big thanks for Sarah coming in.
Anytime, mate. Love it.
I actually feel like with a bit more time we could have got her to say some really, really bad things, but we managed not to.
We've been lucky there, haven't we?
Well, you say lucky. I'd like to have really got into the deep thoughts of you.
Next time
We'll get into some scary shit with Sarah and her mad feelings on lesbian power, because I really would like to find out how she would like to kill men.
I've got many options.
Well, I think next time we get you in, we'll get your feelings on sex robots. But I think that's for another day.
But let's, we'll keep that.
Put that up there.
Put that in on the shelf, and we'll come back to that.
Come back to that.
It's happening
Next time. See you later.